Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm here with Don. Grab a Centerpiece Jones, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And I appreciate him being on here. And we're just going to go through a few questions and just kind of see where we're going to go. We're going to be talking about the hobby. We're going to be talking about the entrepreneurial side of building a card business. So, Don, thanks for jumping on here. We appreciate it. And we'll just get started by you telling us a little bit about yourself and about how you went from just being a collector and being part of this hobby to kind of more of a dealer. So go ahead.
Well, thanks, Rob, for having me on. Well, it started when I was maybe 5, 6 years old. I believe me and mom at the dinner table, just opening packs. And my papa was the genesis of baseball for me, and the guys that were on the TV were the guys that I wanted to see on my cards. We're talking 85, 86, so quadruples in every box. No inserts really to be had other than an all-star card. I mean, but for the kid, it captures, the guys that you see on TV playing and the love for the sport, whatever you collect.
Yeah.
I, I,
Yeah.
I think that when I came back 17 years ago, I needed the dopamine rush. So any retail that was sitting, I took the whole shelf, went home, busted some packs, and it worked for quite a long time. The entrepreneurial side it came about when I seen monster boxes just full of cards that I didn't really want, and I knew how to sell stuff. So uh, I've been in sales for I'd say most of my adult life. So
Okay. Yeah. Very, similar to me, I guess, as far as, me getting started. It was, for me a little bit different. I wasn't so into sports. I mean, I wasn't extremely athletic. I wasn't even into watching it much, but all my friends were getting into it. It was the 90s, it was the early 90s.
right,
And all my friends were getting into it. So I decided to kind of get in, but I love the buying and selling and making a profit. And even as a kid, it beat mowing lawns or whatever for money. So I just go to the local flea market or whatever and get those things and try to make a sell of on my doubles, and then go from there, replenish, keep the hobby going for sure. I know you've been in the hobby for a number of years, as you've said, and has there been anything in your life that you feel like maybe you've conquered, maybe you've overcame, that you think might be inspirational to somebody else just starting out in this hobby or in any field, that they're trying to carry out their dreams, but something's holding them back? Is there anything you feel like in your own life that you may have conquered and it may be kind of valuable to somebody else?
well, as I said, I came back 17 years ago. Uh, to tell the truth, I was and still am a recovering cocaine addict. I'll be celebrating 17 years, July 15th coming up. So when I say the dopamine was needed when I first started and would literally grab the whole shelf of retail, uh, it was a good way for my hands to keep busy, right? So
Yeah.
it was something to replace the urges that I might have had. Um,
Yes.
Starting out, especially with chemical dependency, the first year or so, you are tested by many, many things, and you are rewiring yourself to
Mm.
replace the negative with positive. Um,
Yeah.
Cards was a great way to do that. The intrinsic feeling that I had when I was a kid opening packs with my mom, that was at the forefront. And you know, as as the cards piled up, I guess uh, the sales took over, and it was kind of easy for me to just to say, well, I don't want these cards. They're not really my collection. Let me go ahead and sell these. And
Mhm.
truthfully, with the chemical dependency, uh, the hustle of the streets is almost the easiest transition I've ever had into knowing something was right and following through with it.
Um, Yeah, that's really good, and your ability to overcome those things and move on from those and be, like you said, constantly with this mindset that you're in the process of recovery, even though you've been clean for so many years. Do you feel like that discipline does carry over much
I
to the card collecting,
100%.
or could be applicable to others?
100%. And I mean, we're in a hobby that could become a an addiction for some. Uh, the breaks, the boxes. Some people don't know their limit, and you walk into a
Absolutely.
casino. You got a casino right down the street from you right now, right? And there are people that going to walk in there today thinking that they're due, or oh, I'm going to hit today. Well, you probably didn't hit last time or the last 5 times, so you might want to quit. And it's
Yeah.
I I make light of it because my sense of humor helps me to you know overcome. I don't have urges anymore, right?
Yeah.
Uh, that rewiring of me already took hold. So right here, right now, in front of me, there's cards in front of me that
Mhm.
I know I process, and that's therapeutic for me. Uh, Looking cards up on card ladder, classic king
Yeah.
cards. It's work, but that idle hands thing for me had to be replaced with something positive.
Yes. I don't know about you, Don, but one of the things that I've noticed from people around me, the people that either kind of stay in this hobby, even though it continues to change, and those people that, just try it and get out, it seems to be really mindset, or belief in yourself, maybe even confidence in yourself. How important do you think, your mindset is, and the way you think, to actually doing this as a business? How important do you think that is?
I'd say that with anything we do in life, we're selling ourselves before we sell any kind of product, idea, whatever. You have to have confidence, especially, yeah, let's just take for the show game, right? I see guys that'll set up and they'll never engage with any potential customer. They
Mhm.
they sit and they look at their phone, and it's like, well, you probably did that all week. So right now might
Yeah.
be the time to look up, engage, say hello, ask them what they're looking for. If you don't have exactly what they are looking for, maybe you have a friend in the hobby, which we're all a close knit group here in
Yes.
the Central Ohio of the hobby market. So
Yeah.
sending someone to the right person, because for me, I'm Hall of Fame baseball. I
Mm.
send guys to football guys all the time. I don't want it. So,
Yeah.
but confidence is key in life and in sales. You're
Yeah.
selling yourself. You're absolutely selling yourself, because at the end of the day, it's cardboard with pretty pictures on it.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I think that we all, want to be careful with who we surround ourselves with. I know that there are different people in my life. Some of them are my biggest cheerleaders, and sometimes that's almost to a fault. They're like, "Oh, yeah, you can do that. Anything you want to do, you go for it. You got it."
Yeah,
And maybe they don't even give me like the honest truth. They're not evaluating me, but on properly. They're not evaluating me properly. But on the other hand, I have these people in my life that I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to do this," and they're like, "No, that's not going to work." Or whatever. And different times it might be different people. And I try to use those people as motivation, really,
yeah,
because so many times I've been told, "Well, this isn't going to work out. You're going to go do this show in Chillicothe or whatever, and it's not going to work out. You never get 300-400 people through the door," or those sort of things. And I just use that as motivation to be like, yeah, I think I can. And I think you would agree that currently we're on some wave. We had it in COVID, and we have it again. And we'll talk about that maybe a little bit more here in just a second. But that wave could start to end, and at least 75%, if not 80% of my income is from having a shop that's direct with tops. And as I see the writing on the wall of that situation, and I kind of see changing, and then kind of this wave riding down, you have to have confidence in yourself that you can reinvent yourself here. No
Totally.
matter what happens, that you can find a way to kind of see your way out. So I
Yep.
agree with you. Like mindset, confidence in yourself is, pretty important. So tell us a little bit about grab a centerpiece and how did that come about and how long have you been using that, specific catchphrase?
So I think grab a centerpiece been ride with me 8 9 years. What it is, what I started from was at one point in my hobby career, I sold a lot of high end stuff. So it
Hmm.
was, hey, I got a lot of compliment. Oh man, it's like a candy store. Oh wow. But then you hear the opposite. Oh man, my wife would kill me.
Yeah.
Well, you need to
Yeah.
buy her some flowers or take her out to a nice meal and actually pay attention to her. But grab a centerpiece is grab a card or item that you love. Take it home, be proud of it, display it. Uh, Grab a centerpiece is kind of self-explanatory. Just grab
Yeah.
something that you love.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love that phrase. I see it on all your flyers, and I know you've been saying it for years, even when you were setting up back at the Southway American Legion
Yeah.
show. 20 table show, you'd be like, stop over and grab a centerpiece. I mean, you've been using it for a while, but that does make sense. It's a centerpiece to you. It's something you value, something you love. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the biggest card in the whole wide world. And as you touched on earlier, we've got all these gamblers in the hobby and it's like, they're just trying to show off. But the grab a centerpiece is grab something that's valuable to you that you're not going to regret that purchase, in
For
a
sure.
couple months, whatever. So, we both had kind of talked about this, before we, got into this discussion formally, but we talked about waves. So there was a COVID wave. We all benefited and kind of rode that wave. And then there was a couple of years that it wasn't real great. And now we're back to there being another kind of wave. And I personally see that wave starting to kind of come to an end. But this latest wave, um, Pokemon, TCG, One Piece, all of it together kind of seemed to hit an even greater stride than it did during COVID. So, do you see any dangers with that, or what have you been seeing out at shows that could be a concern for us?
Well, firstly, I see a lot of guys that came in with COVID, did a couple years worth of shows, and were predominantly sports. Take a year off. And at my show, hey, can I get a table? Sure. The first question that I ask after a shirt is, what kind of inventory do you carry?
Mhm.
Transparency with Pokemon with me is big.
Yeah,
Uh, the sports collector that's been building sets or collecting inserts for the last 40 years doesn't want to waste that 8 to 16 to 24 foot of table.
yes,
And when I say that my show's 85 to 90% sports, I mean it, right?
yeah,
Um, we see a lot of flack on Facebook. There are many, many posts. Oh man, I went to a show this weekend. I went to two shows this weekend. I couldn't find any sports really.
yeah,
Well, that's probably because the promoter didn't promote truthfully. Uh, we can all go and count tables at shows.
yeah,
It's not a hard thing to do. Uh, I just think that we all coexist in the same room. It's a great thing, right? Um,
yeah,
but chasing the money will get you burnt. I
yeah,
believe that when you don't know a product and you're solely doing it because you see growth in one particular aspect, if you go big in that, we had a guy that bought $3,000 worth of fake Pokemon,
wow,
and brought it to my show and was set up, put it all out until one of the Pokemon dealers that knows his product come over and explain to him, hey man, these are all fake.
yeah,
I I don't know anybody's finances, but if somebody would take 3 grand out of mine, I'd be
yeah.
hurt.
Oh
That
yeah,
would hurt.
yeah, it would for sure.
So I
Yeah, no, I Totally agree with what you're saying. And, I just had a situation, I had some people show up to my Southway American Legion show just like last month or the month before. And they're like, oh, bummer, dude, there's no Pokemon. And I try to be clear on my post that it's very little to no Pokemon. And even, kind of what you're talking about here is, integrity and trying to keep the shows as pure as we can and just being honest, for the customers. And then
Right.
our customers are also the dealers. I mean, those of us who promote shows, it's like the dealers themselves, and I want to support them. I had a guy reach out, and I'm actually, just because my waiting list is stale, I'm having a hard time filling my Southway American Legion show that's just in a few days. But I had a Pokemon guy reach out to me. I got tons of Pokemon. Would it be a good show for me to set up at? And I was just very honest with him, even though I'd love to sell the table.
Yeah.
But I'm like, people are not coming there looking for Pokemon. You'd be the only guy there, with Pokemon, or maybe one and a half guys with Pokemon. And I could throw out a post or something, but it was more important to me to, have that guy do another show, maybe I do, or
Yeah.
that guy be at the right show for him instead of me just selling another table. So, now speaking about shows and big, huge shows coming to the area, I know that you're doing a very large show, and it's in collaboration with Kips Cards, Isaac from Kips Cards. And I just wanted to know kind of how that came about and what we can expect from that show. And I also want to mention we are a proud sponsor of that show. And I don't know if I was, but I feel like maybe I was even one of the first people to say I'm on for
Oh yeah.
sponsoring this show. So can you tell us a little bit about that show? Because I'm excited to personally attend it and see what's going to happen there.
So that show come about. Isaac called me one day and said, "I think we could do this," and that was really all the motivation I needed. Uh, I've had invites. A couple other gentlemen invited me to some venues, and it just wasn't going to work out because I figured since I am a monthly show promoter, uh, I wasn't going to do a show unless it was at least 100 tables. I wasn't going to add another one to my schedule. Um,
Yeah.
so we're looking at 100 to 150 tables. Yes, you were the first one, I believe, outside of CoinMart, but CoinMart was literally the next stop for Isaac after we left the Muskingum County Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
So when it was released to the public as, hey, here's an opportunity to set up at a great show at a market that might not have anything going on now, and is stoked to have a show going on. The response has been great. At last count, we are at 40 tables already, and we are still 5 months out. Um,
Yes.
it's going to be a great show. Once again, to touch back on the Pokemon sports ratio, we are stopping at 25% Pokemon. It will be separated so everybody can come in and know exactly where they need to be going and visit their favorite dealers or network with new dealers. Um, we got food trucks, we got giveaways all day. There is going to be a trade night that night. It's going to be a busy day in Muskingum County. Zanesville is going to rock.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds great. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And that shows in early October, correct?
Yes, sir. October the 3rd. Everybody mark their calendars and be ready. Grab a Centerpiece card shows, and Kips Cards is going to uh, put this area on the map for a big show.
Yeah. And yeah, and I love to support, it's always a schedule thing, and it's hard for us to all schedule around each other's shows, but I
For sure.
love to support like those shows that are in, like, say, Eastern Ohio, Zanesville, Newark area, and those shows south. I mean, we all know there's some really big dogs in the Columbus, Ohio area, but there's a pretty good pack of dogs that are running and operating things in the Southern Ohio and in the Eastern Ohio area too. So
Yes, sir.
I'm absolutely thankful to be a part of that show, and I hope that everybody checks that show out. Don, I'm sure I will talk to you again, and I'm sure that we could keep going on and on about different subjects that we, could get into here that we'd like to talk about. But I just want to say thank you for being on. I appreciate it, and make sure you check out all of Don's social media and shows. And he's pretty much got it running over in the Newark area, got that area covered. So thanks again, Don.
Thank you, Rob.